We got this story from Jalopnik. I love using leftist sources for this stuff. Biden warns Americans gas prices will remain high as long as it takes.
Beatings will continue.
Yes, right. The president said gas prices will stay high to combat Putin and Russia's war on Ukraine. I love it. I love it. He's basically saying, don't vote for me.
I think it sounds like more of a threat than a warning. Biden threatens Americans. Gas prices will remain high as long as it takes.
You want Ukraine to win or not? Now pay up.
Yeah. It's amazing. So at a time when the Democrats are desperate to find someone to run in 2024 because they don't think Joe Biden's going to make it, Joe Biden's giving them all of the reason to try and find someone else to run in 2024.
You know, here I like the theory that, you know, there have been people that have said that he keeps like giving calls for help, that he doesn't really want to be doing this, and that he's like, you know, they won't just let me go eat ice cream, and like he'll like come like at different like candid moments where he'll be like, they told me to come out here and say this, so I guess I have to say that. This might be him just like, you know, please, like, don't.
No,
I don't want to. Yeah, everyone's gonna have to pay higher gas prices. Will you finally just replace me? Can I go sit down somewhere?
Yeah, this is a blatant honesty. I mean, the whole "as long as it takes" things is political propaganda, but he's basically acknowledging that it's not going to come back down.
Yeah, if you remove "as long as it takes," this is an axiom. This is as long as the policies that are in place the gas prices will remain high. And it's crazy because it was, I believe, earlier this month that Biden did correctly acknowledge that right now the biggest bottleneck, at least in the U.S. when it comes to domestic gas production, is at the refinery level. But then he blamed the refiners and said, "Oh, you're not producing enough, and you're profiting. You know, you're price gouging us." And then the refiners came out and said, we're at like 96, 98% capacity. If you right now lessen some of the environmental restrictions and regulations on us, we could increase capacity by double digits. And if at the same time you allowed us to build some new refineries for the first time in decades, while simultaneously reducing some of these tariffs on the materials that we need to build the refineries, we could short-term fix it with reduction of regulations and long-term fix it by building more refineries. But, you know, he'd rather say hashtag Putin price hike.
Joe Biden said, when he was campaigning, he's going to transition us off of fossil fuels. Imagine hearing him tell you that, voting for him, and then coming out and being like, Joe Biden doesn't control the price of gas.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he told you he was going to do this.
It's like that Pikachu face meme where it's like, I'm going to make gas prices go up. Okay, gas prices go up.
How did this happen? And you try and explain to them all of the reasons, some of which are BS. They're like, it's corporate profits. That explains everything.
Yes, suddenly, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, break down for me the corporate profits thing. And they're like, what do you mean? Like, explain to me how much money they make. Like, I don't know. I just saw a meme on Facebook. And I'm like, if inflation is through the roof and the cost to produce oil has gone up and the cost to drill for oil has gone up, that means their profits will increase to the same percentage point. So I'll put it simply. If you make $100 in profit and it costs you $75 to produce the oil, that's a 25% profit. If the costs increase by 25% and then you increase the cost of fuel as you sell it by 25%, it will also look like your profits went up 25%, but you retained the same level of buying power.
Yep.
These people don't understand that.
No.
So sure, maybe you can say, but they're still getting lots of profits. That is true. They are still making billions of dollars. But it's also absurd to be like, well, they should sacrifice their profits for the sake of Joe Biden's energy policy. No, look, I'll be fair and say, yeah, they probably should work alongside with the government to lower prices. But we still can point out Joe Biden enacted a bunch of policies specifically to transition us off of fossil fuels.
But to be, well, and exactly, I mean, he said, I'm going to do this. And everyone's like, okay, good. But now what they didn't realize is transition isn't like rainbows and unicorns. Transition means make this prohibitively expensive so you have to do this. That's what a transition that's forced by government looks like, as opposed to a market-driven transition where it is unicorns, where it is look at this new thing that's way better, as opposed to we're going to make this thing way worse in comparison.
You see these flight cancellations?
Yes.
You see this stuff?
Oh, I don't just see
heard about them.
I have been the victim of them, yes.
We've been too. Like they abruptly will change someone's ticket.
Yeah. Cancel their flight.
Or change it, right? Didn't we have it like they just moved someone's flight to the next day or something?
No, that was them doing it. Yeah. They emailed me and they're like, oh, yeah, he changed that. He just didn't tell me.
Oh,
okay.
Okay,
that's fine.
That
That's
freaked
different.
me out.
Yeah.
No, but there are stories in the press where people are saying
That's happened to me.
Yeah.
that they just changed your flight to a later date or something.
I have gotten on an airplane, gotten a notification that the flight had been canceled.
What?
And then just start getting up because I realized they're about to announce it to everyone else too. And they've done that before. Yeah. And we ended up having to stay. That was at Charlotte Airport. We ended up having to stay the night there. And like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, we're on the we're on the plane. And I look and the door's open. I'm
Can't
like,
be right.
we're getting off the plane.
It's coming.
And we did. And sure enough, like as I'm getting off the plane, they're like, everyone, we have an update. And I'm like, yeah, the update is this flight is canceled. See you tomorrow morning.
Why was it canceled?
They said it was because of, what did they say? They always say maintenance. And that's because of some kind of thing with the flight insurance.
Right.
They don't have to pay as much out or something like that. But the reality is, I talked to one of the pilots as we were leaving, and they're like, yeah, we already went over our hours. And they thought that these other pilots coming in would be able to do it, but they went over their hours too.
I talked to a pilot, and he said most pilots are hitting their limit.
Yep.
And so they're just, so my question, though, is how? Where did all the pilots go? Like
they quit
were
during
furloughed.
the vaccine mandates. They were like, well, I'm not getting the jab, I'm out.
And
Furloughed and vaccine mandates. That's what happened.
And we were told, the media was like, they're not protesting vaccine mandates. Everything's fine. Yeah, a bunch will probably quit. Yeah. I like the idea that everybody got raptured better because it sounds more fun. Because we went,
good
they
pilots
just kept
went to
flying
heaven.
higher and
Yeah,
higher.
it
Yeah.
was
The good pilots went to heaven. We're all in hell now. Yeah.
I've been thinking about this because why are there shortages everywhere? Where are people? Why aren't people working?
Yeah.
It's not even, maybe it's the vaccine mandates. And that could be really it, that most people just said, I'm out, I'm not doing it. And now, but where are those people? I mean, they got to eat, right?
Black market.
But what are they doing? They got to make money doing something, but they're still not here.
Yeah.
So we went to the movies over Labor, I think it was Labor Day, and there's nobody anywhere. Yeah. And I'm just like, where are the humans? Where are the humans? So the fun conspiracy theory, it's not really a conspiracy, but the fun joke theory is that the rapture happened, and all of the people that got raptured, our memories of them was erased. So now we're just sitting here wondering why all of the stores have labor shortages, why there's no pilots anymore. They're all gone, and we just can't remember who they were.
Oh, good. So I have a new nightmare. Thank you for that. That's good. No, that's good.
Then
sleep on that
Seamus was
tonight.
like, that can't be true. Because Seamus is Catholic, right?
Yes.
He would have to be raptured too. And I'm like, I don't know.
What
does it
someone
say?
found out they were wrong. Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah. No, but in all seriousness, though, something doesn't make sense.
I think they're at home collecting unemployment.
But
if they're
not for this
lucky.
long.
Not for this.
They were
long,
canceling
they
flights
were.
last year.
They were, yeah.
You're not going to be on unemployment for 2 years. We're going on a year.
What is it, 18 months? Is that the long?
They did extend it.
So there is actually an explanation for this. When you pump trillions of dollars into the economy and artificially create demand while simultaneously paying people to do nothing, you create a bunch of consumers and reduce the number of producers. And we're watching that play out in real time. The way that corrects is through a massive recession, which is coming. If it hasn't already started, it's coming. And it is the reality of when, and this, by the way, anyone who's still out there promoting modern monetary theory or UBI or any of that nonsense, this was a couple times of them handing off checks and expanding unemployment insurance by a little bit. And look at what it led to. It led to such a disruption in the market that everyone became net consumers and stopped producing. And the ripple effects of that will be felt for years.
Should I take out a bunch of loans right now, is what you're saying?
Yes, you should take out loans, credit card debt, anything you have a title for, go to the title loan place. This is the time to buy. You got to buy in.
So the idea is if the recession's coming and the value of the dollar is going to tank, then the buying, so like a car that's worth 20 grand today is going to be worth 40 grand in a year.
Yeah.
You take out a loan for a $20,000 car, and in a year you sell it for 40 grand, you pay off the loan, you got a free 20 grand.
I mean, that's some brave pool you're playing there, but yeah, I mean,
what I mean to say
rich
is
guy's game,
right? No. What rich people do.
That is what
that is what rich people do. But except they do it on your back, right? They do it with Fed money that just got freshly printed, and if everything goes south, and they're too big to fail.
This is the point I'm making. Right before the recession, they know that if they borrow $100,000 and then the buying power of that $100,000 collapses.
Yep.
They basically got a freebie. Now they can sell whatever they bought because the price will spike.
Yep.
The value of the dollar goes down, so you'll need twice as many dollars to buy it, so they'll get the free money.
Yep.
Half the buying power with none of the work.
I can imagine that breaks down at some point.
Thanks for checking out this segment from the Timcast IRL podcast. But if you want to check out the full show live, tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. And if you want more special access content, head over to timcast.com and become a member. Your membership helps sustain this company, keep our journalists employed, makes this show happen, and you will get access to exclusive members-only segments of the Timcast IRL podcast, and there's a massive library to check out. So again, go to timcast.com or tune in Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., and we'll see you all there.